Video is going to go through page 74 and sheet number 3, and it's to do with the parabola terminology. So in this topic, more than most topics, there's a lot of terms and a bit of theory that you have to learn with it. Okay, so we would have drawn parabolas in junior cert level, but now we're going a step further and we're discussing and finding out where they come from and some of the conics and terminology around the actual cone. So in the question we're given the cone is cut by a section plane resulting in a parabola curve. So first of all, because the section plane, which is here, is parallel to the edge of the cone, that is why we get a parabola. We're asked to find the axis, vertex, focus, directrix, and then draw the parabola. So you will know what a vertex is, focus and directrix might be a little bit new to you. Then we're asked to label the pictorial view over here, and we're asked to label the section plane, vertex, focal sphere, horizontal cutting plane, and directrix, which is actually here. I'm just going to write directrix there for a second. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this question. It gets a little bit detailed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to look at my video and then go back to DCG Solutions and flick through it, and it will make more sense, and it will do an animation over here which will explain all this for you a little bit more clearly. Okay, so the very first thing is, first of all, we need to draw this parabola. So we have a section here, and we have how it looks down here. So in order to see the true shape of that parabola, the very first thing we need to do is draw 90 degrees to see the true shape. So I'm going to project the line at 90 degrees. Project it out lightly. So the very first thing we're going to know is this point here is the vertex. I'm going to label that V. So you're going to label this as you go along as well. It might be a good idea to use colored pens to make it nice and clear and obvious for yourself. That is the vertex, and that is the highest point. So the parabola, if it goes up, it stops and starts to come back down. So the vertex is the highest point where it starts to turn. So that is the vertex there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line out parallel to this edge. Doesn't matter where, it's going to be the center of your axis. So we're going to say somewhere there. So again, all this is lightly. That is going to be your axis. So the parabola is going to be drawn on either side of that. Alright, next then, we need to find the focal sphere. Alright, so we need to find the focal sphere. So that is basically this sphere over here. So the rule is that is tangential to the cone. So it'll touch the cone at one point, or circle of contact all the way around. And it will also touch the section plane at one point. Okay, so it's going to fit in somewhere here. So to find it, what we do is we need to bisect the angle. So we bisect this angle here. So take a radius, doesn't matter what radius, swing an arc, don't change your radius, go to both points, go to the bottom point, swing an arc, and from the vertex draw a line straight out through that bisecting point. Okay, and now where that crosses that bisecting line, we've bisected that angle now in two. where it crosses the center axis here will be the center point of your focal sphere. Because if I go back over here, the focal sphere will obviously have the same center point as the cone because there's a circle of contact all the way around and it's a radius. And then we bisect the angle here, which will give us the center. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to draw, to get the point of contact, we'll draw a circle in a second. To get the point of contact, I'm going to draw a line at 90 degrees to the center point. Okay, so that is now the point of contact. We'll use that in a second. And I can get my radius off that because it's tangential. It should be tangential to there, and it should, if I do it correctly, and it hits the side of the cone perfectly as well. So we draw a circle. So that is now our focal sphere. You can label this as well as you go. This is something you need to know. That's just terminology you need to learn. Okay, so that focal sphere is there. Now, what we do is we have the point of contact, and that becomes our focus. So I'm going to label that F for focus. So the focus is the point of contact between the focal sphere and the section plane. I'll label this here as well, section plane. So we're going to bring that out then to our axis. So label this here first, that's our vertex, which is there. You're going to bring out your focus. That's your focus. Now we need to find our directrix. Okay, and all these terms will make more sense in the next few classes. So, to get your directrix, what we need to do is find the point of contact now between the edge of the cone and the focal sphere. So it's the very same process. We go 90 degrees from the edge of the cone back to the center point. Where that touches, okay, and now this time it's different, okay, so where that touches, yes, it's a point of contact, but it'll be a circle of contact, because if you can imagine, if this ball comes up into the cone, it will touch the cone all the way around, like this black line. So instead of that being a point of contact, it's actually a line of contact. So if I draw a line straight across, that is your line of contact. That's your focal sphere. This is your line of contact. And now to find the directrix, what we do is we extend the line of contact. We extend this out further. And where it crosses the section plane, that will be your directrix. So you bring that down. Bring it down. And that is your directrix. And that will be headed. And these terms will be needed for our next few pages when we're using the eccentricity method to draw a parabola. But we're not going to use it in this question. Okay, so now we've kind of found all our terms. So we found section plane, vertex, focal sphere, focal point, which is here. Horizontal cutting plane is there. And our directrix is here. We have our axis, we have our circle of contact, so we have all the terms. Now we just need to draw the parabola. So if I just show you here, so that there will be my vertex. Right, now I just take random points. I can divide it up if I like, but we're just going to take random points. So I'm going to take, do it in different colour. I'm just going to take points here and here. I'm going to project it up till it hits the edge of the cone, or hits the edge of the section plane. I'm going to take points there and there. So that's probably enough. So now what do? I project those points down. Mark them in pink. Project those down. And I'm going to use my axis. Okay, so you can do two things. If you want, you can take the distance from your axis, which is there, to there. Okay, follow it up, bring it down, swing below and above the line. There are 2 points. Go to your next, take this distance to there, to your curve, follow it up, follow it down, above and below the line. Third one, take that distance up to hit the parabola or the section plane, down here, and then the last one I need to do is the very edge, which is the top part here, top part there, that point, bring it down, swing an arc, so now each of those are points on our parabola. Use a natural arc, and this is one thing, having looked at your previous questions, a lot of you need to improve the quality of your curve. So really lightly join the dots. A lot of people's parabolas are kind of coming into a point and starting again, so try having a nice even curve. Okay, heavy it in, one continuous line. It can be heavy along here as well. Okay, so that is our kind of question answered. Alright, now what should be heavy? So I've drawn it all a little bit heavier than it should be because obviously you won't be able to see in the drawing. So your axis should be light, your directrix is heavy, all these lines are light, and your focal sphere is light as well, and everything else is here is light. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you now, once you've drawn this, I want you to go back, I want you to answer this. So what's the vertex, focal sphere, focus, and directrix? Okay, you'll find all the answers in DCG solutions. I want you to label all of this, try to understand what the line of contact is, Understand the section plane is over here. Your line of contact is your horizontal cutting plane also. That's extended on to get your directrix. And then I want you to answer question 2 using DCG solutions. So use DCG solutions to answer that question. Alright, okay, so I'll stop the video.